Spare food for thought for you Mario fans out there. Mario Strikers Battle League was announced over a month ago in a February Direct. We're getting a brand new Mario Strikers after a decade and a half. Brand new Mario Strikers. That very cool Mario Sports spin-off is coming back with new gameplay tweaks and mechanics, new characters, etc, etc. A revival of a long absent but not forgotten and very beloved Mario Sports series is coming this upcoming summer. Wen made an entire video talking about that, how excited I am about the game, the potential it has, etc. But then it occurred to me shortly after the announcement while writing that video script, Mario Baseball's back on the table? Technically? That announcement kind of heavily revalidates Mario Baseball getting a viable chance of getting a new game again. And I mentioned this towards the end of that video, like, Mario Baseball's the only other major Mario Sports series left to be brought back, and with us getting a new Mario Striker soon, Mario Baseball has a strong chance to be considered getting a new installment as well. Hence why I'm making this video, asking if we could even see a new Mario Baseball game within the next year or two, maybe 3, to which, before getting into the nitty-gritty of the discussion, yeah, I think I'm expecting a new Mario Baseball for the Switch in the coming years now. Maybe next year or 2024. So why I'm revisiting this is because of Mario Strikers and the fact I've made a video a couple years ago wondering about Strikers and Baseball and why both series were absent. That video did very well. A lot of you guys who saw that video in 2019 agreed Baseball and Strikers should continue with new installments, and fast forward to last month, Mario Strikers at least is coming back. But both Mario Baseball and Mario Strikers were in the exact same boat before that. Both series are among some of the best sold Mario Sports games. Both series and the 2 games across both are cult classics and very beloved Mario spin-offs with still active communities being made and fostered today between the tech both games have and just their fun gameplay and unique identities. Both were MIA for many years, they did not see a new installment while tennis and golf kept getting consistent new titles. But now Strikers is back in the limelight. Mario Strikers is back on that table of active, in-use Mario spin-offs that many people wanted, and Nintendo's refleshing out with the Mario brand. So it's hard to say they can't do the same thing for Mario Baseball if Strikers is coming back after all this time, right? Because as far as major, big Mario spin-offs, sports or not, Baseball basically is that only other Mario Sports series the Switch would greatly benefit from having. Not only that, but with Strikers, that's a Next Level Games produced series. Next Level Games always made Mario Strikers. They finished Luigi's Mansion 3 quite some time ago. Now they're doing Strikers again. With Mario Baseball, that's always been a Bandai Namco collaboration with Nintendo, and what I'm about to theorize could very well not be the case. I don't have the ins and outs of which teams and subdivisions with these third-party companies works on what specifically. We only have the company name to go off of. But Bandai Namco did also work on Smash Ultimate with Sakurai and Nintendo, which finished development several months ago. I hear that Bandai is also apparently working on the Booster Course Pass for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I haven't seen a proper source for that yet though, so it's word of mouth on my end so far. But Bandai Namco is definitely a massive studio with multiple divisions working on multiple games. Plenty of instances to where they've extended help to developing games with Nintendo before in the past. Even assume that the extension of devs with Smash or Mario Kart wouldn't intertwine with a potential development with a new Mario Baseball. Bandai Namco being as big and consistent with Nintendo as they are still holds merit to consider. They'd spare some manpower and collab with Nintendo for a new Mario Baseball in the not so near but not so distant future too. That's another thing I've been seeing more and more of lately. A lot of big Nintendo first parties are out on the Switch. Your Zeldas, your Smashes, Mario, Mario Kart, Pokemon, Metroid, Wario, Splatoon, Animal Crossing, etc. Most of what they quote-unquote needed to put out there are basically on there, if not more for this year with all the sequels, and people think we're nearing the end of the Switch's life or talking about approaching the Switch's last sprint. I don't think that's the case. If the 3DS's life is anything to go off of, a system that was a big success for Nintendo, that thing stuck out for an extra 2 years, even when the Switch was out. That's like roughly 8 years or so we've gotten 3DS support. 6 years before the Switch existed alongside it. And we're still getting more content for the Switch's bestseller, Mario Kart 8, for effectively 2 more years from now. Not only that, it was only a couple months ago the president of Nintendo, Shintaro Furukawa, mentioned we're about halfway through the system's life, and they've planned to make the Switch a console to last longer than your average console. That does not tell me we're gonna leave the Switch after the next year or two. That tells me they're gonna ride this momentum out for for a couple more years, especially when the Switch and so many of its games are selling very well consistently. Zelda, Mario Kart, Smash, the various Pokemon games, Animal Crossing, etc. And now Mario Kart will sell more. Mario Strikers will likely become one of the best-selling Mario spin-offs ever. I'm very confident in that. All the various sequels we're getting this year that will potentially sell very well, potentially more sequels in the next couple more years as well. Point is, and I have another video planned very soon to where this specific point will come up in another Mario related video. We've a lot of reason to suspect Nintendo is going to keep up with making the Switch their primary platform for a couple more years, and even if we get a successor after a year or two from now, whether Switch 2 or something completely different, they're still very likely to try and develop some games for the system, even with the introduction of another. And how this ties to Mario Baseball is having that big of a window to make a new Mario Baseball when so many other series, and especially Mario spin-off series, got their new titles already, speaks to me. There's little to nothing opposing the possibility of Mario Baseball coming back anymore. Personally speaking, either in spring to summer of 2023 or that seasonal period of 2024, I feel like the chances of Mario Baseball making a comeback are very viable and strong. Not guaranteed, of course. There's always the possibility it just won't come back. Now may not be the best time, but with Strikers coming back and all this other stuff to consider, there's really not much going against why Nintendo wouldn't want another Mario Baseball game. So that leaves the potential for a new Mario Baseball, and this would be similar to Mario Strikers and the Foundation both the series have. Battle League has some tweaks and new gameplay ideas like ditching the captain sidekick system, adding gear, field theme fusions, etc. But you could tell at a glance, a lot of core elements Mario Strikers has before is still in there. The items, the aggressive nature, electric fences, items, hyper strikes, the art style, etc. With Mario Baseball, between Superstar Baseball and Super Sluggers, both games share the same foundation in having these Mario themed stadiums tied to the characters, and most having gimmicks and unique traits, having a wide array of characters to choose from for a baseball team, chemistry, meaning some characters will perform better in general based on who you pick for your team, in Super Sluggers using items to your advantage, captains having unique star abilities, etc. Baseball, but with a creative and fun twist using Mario's characters and Mario's world. Not only that, Strikers' overall tone and style has a slight tweak with this new game. It's still Strikers, but you could tell it's decently softer and less gritty than Charged or the GameCube one. The Mario Baseball series doesn't have to worry about that. It's a lot more in line with how Mario and Mario characters act and how Mario is represented in almost any other game. So a lot of what previous games did should probably be maintained for a hypothetical new entry, theming stadiums after the Mario characters, but maybe make them more unique and original than ones we saw previously, reincorporate items, reincorporate star abilities, chemistry, etc. But the one thing here that I know everyone will probably agree on, and applies the most here than any other Mario game, they can't just hold back, they have to go balls to the wall insane with the character roster. One of the biggest appeals with Mario Baseball, beyond the gameplay and charm, especially in Sluggers' case, people adore how massive the roster is. Besides Mario Kart Tour, Mario Super Sluggers has the biggest roster out of any Mario game ever. The entire roster from Superstar Baseball, so many variants and types of Mario enemies, all the main characters and partners they have, multiple NPC characters like the Nokis and Piantas, some bosses like Petey Piranha, King Boo, Wiggler, a really wide array of Donkey Kong characters like Donkey, Diddy, and Dixie Kong, but also Funky Kong, Tiny Kong, the Critters, King K. Rool. This was his last appearance in any game before Smash Ultimate. Many baby characters like Baby DK and Babies Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Daisy. You know how plenty of people talk about how, oh, Mario Kart is too many babies, too much filler. Mario Kart is too many Koopalings and whatnot. If they were in a Mario Baseball game, that conversation for Mario Baseball would not exist. One of the most interesting aspects of baseball as a sport is how many people can join and form a team, and debatably, the biggest appeal for Mario Baseball is its roster. Some Mario games have these weird compromises like Mario Kart 8 did, with having all these reskins and Koopalings and babies and whatnot prior to 8 Deluxe, while ignoring other possibilities for characters. Mario Baseball can't do the same thing. Baseball's the one Mario spin-off they have to leverage to the best of their ability, fully capitalize on how many Mario characters and characters in the entire Mario universe you could squeeze in a Mario baseball game. I'm not just talking about Super Sluggers roster either. I'm talking Rosalina, Aluma, Lubba from Galaxy 2, Pauline, Professor Egad, King Babam, Nabbit, Lakitu, Charge and Chuck, Spike, the Koopalings. Yes, the Koopalings in Mario Baseball makes the most sense when putting them in there compared to most other Mario games. Boom Boom, Pom Pom, the Sprixie Fairies from 3D World, Cappy from Mario Odyssey, Tiara, the Broodals from Odyssey, Madame Brood, a new Dunker. That'd be a funny meme. With Nintendo owning the rights to Mario and Luigi, the amount of surrealness and hype having characters like Fawful, Cackletta, Prince Peasley, the Shroobs or Princess Shroob, and Tasma or Dreambird and whatnot, maybe Paper Mario characters like the Partners, Goombella, Vivian, etc. They added all those Donkey Kong characters before. There's still Lanky Kong and Chunky Kong, probably other Donkey Kong characters I'm blanking on. You want to extend other series, other characters in the Mario world have? Give that same treatment Donkey Kong got for the WarioWare and Wario Land cast. Mona, Ashley, Jimmy T, 9V, 18V, Cat and Anna, Captain Syrup, etc. Baby Wario appeared in Yoshi's Island DS, and unless I'm mistaken, that's the only other baby from Island DS, not in Super Sluggers. Like, the amount of potential and scale a roster for a new Mario Baseball now is ridiculously huge, alongside the fact that most, if not every character I listed off, except maybe the Wario characters, all have a realistic and viable shot at ever being in a Mario Baseball game. That is the one series they need to go ham on when it comes to character roster. Beyond that, it's tough to say if they keep the captain system, given Strikers is canning its captain system and sidekick system. It doesn't necessarily need tweaking or changing. I think I'd prefer them keeping it, given its purpose and structure it provides both Superstar Baseball and Sluggers. I don't think it'd be too big if they canned it, as long as the game is still well-functioned, balanced, and fun to play. That'd be something we'd have to see if we ever get to that point. As for future captains, who often come in pairs with other bigger, more mainstream Mario characters, Mario and Luigi, Peach, Daisy, Yoshi, Birdo, etc., the only other pair of captains I think you could make that are new is Rosalina and Pauline, both being major and very popular Mario ladies. Otherwise, I'm unsure if a new baseball would need either more new captains or a different system altogether or not. Fields, I think they can expand upon and not just limit to the captains themselves. Because you limit to captains' themes, you're limiting what they can be themed around. Oh, Luigi? Make it Luigi's Mansion themed. DK? Give him a jungle. Like, they could maintain some of the themes they already have. Mario Stadium, the most basic and balanced being this tropical sunshine field. Bowser's is a castle, etc. That sort of thing. But add more stadium themes surrounding Mario Galaxy, the Comet Observatory, or Gusty Garden Galaxy, or Good Egg Galaxy, for example. Los Angeles Laps and Mario Kart Tour as a stadium, a New Donk City or Luncheon Kingdom themed stadium, Waluigi Pinball or Waluigi Factory type stadium, a field on an airship, the moon, a cloudy mushroom world, a star/rainbow world, etc. Fields and stadiums, I think it's something a new Mario Baseball could definitely expand upon. Beyond those, maybe maintain a campaign similar to either the two baseball games, same for the item system and Sluggers, etc. Go crazy with the roster, get a little extra with the stadiums, and maintain most of everything else in a vacuum is what I personally think you could do to make a new Mario Baseball after 15 plus years, stand out from the other two, and get people really excited. But that got me thinking of other Mario sports, because Mario Baseball isn't the only Mario sports spinoff absent when the Mario basketball games, or more accurately, the Mario Sports Square Enix titles are also considerable. Mario had this basketball game on DS, Mario Hoops 3-on-3, and on Wii they made Mario Sports Mix, this mixture of multiple sports like basketball, but also hockey, volleyball, and dodgeball. Both games also incorporated Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest characters in the roster alongside the Mario ones, and these games were just this very odd and weird, but quirky and fun Mario sports games that were very interesting. Square Enix is also big to where multiple divisions and teams are making multiple games too, and Square Enix had this weird, kinky relationship making those Mario spin-offs and Fortune Street and whatnot during the era of the DS and Wii. So that one's tougher to say whether or not we'd get an extension of that branch of Mario Sports. But sales-wise, both games sold modestly well, Hoops selling over 2 million, and there are plenty of people who do recognize and appreciate both games for various reasons. Gameplay ideas, roster, courts, etc. They were quirky and unique, but also fun. In my opinion, I think both games are a little underrated. They both slap and are plenty of fun, so I think most would not object much if at all to a new Mario basketball game or other Mario sports within that branch or outside it really, like American football, dodgeball, etc. Mario basketball is in more of a gray area, I'd say, because that's definitely lower on Nintendo and Square Enix's priority list as far as we know and or would assume, and that one's tougher to gauge. How much would it be worth to bring back, you know? It probably would be. I mean, it'd be fun, but that's Square. They're tougher to predict comparatively alongside Mario basketball. That's a spare thought I figured I'd throw in there for extra measure. But dialing back to Mario baseball, yeah, I have plenty of faith Mario Baseball could effectively strike back and have a new game within the next few years for these reasons, and could do plenty with the roster, fields, and such to make it a fun and worthwhile return to the series for most people. Do any of you guys feel the same or disagree? You have your own ideas or expectations for a new Mario Baseball, whether characters, mechanics, fields, story, etc.? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more Mario content in many forms in the near and distant future. Stay super.
哟，嘿，妹妹，嘿，我来呀！共和大哈哈呀！拉面，嘿，来面，海哥面，共和再见呀！哈哈，拉面，上手面，谢谢。